Hello, everyone. I am Madeline Cohen, Education Director at Symphony Space. I wish I was saying welcome to Symphony Space like I have for over 25 years. Instead, I'm saying welcome to my living room. Still, I am delighted that we are continuing All Right and are able to present wonderful stories and poems by you to the teachers and students in All Right, all read by our amazing actors. It has meant so much to me to be able to bring together students and teachers from all around New York City to share the creativity, beauty, honesty, laughs, and tears in your stories and poems. The All Right Committee and I have been honored to read every single story and poem submitted. During this very difficult time, we are more impressed, moved, and thrilled than ever by the beautiful writing, hard work, and dedication of the All Right students. Teachers, tutors, and staff, this could not have happened without you. You have done a magnificent job. And even if you weren't able to submit writing this year, we know you are committed to your students. We received close to 225 stories and poems. Wow. And it was very difficult to choose the 40 that we will present today. We loved reading them and wish we could present to all of them. I think that you're really going to enjoy hearing these stories and poems. Some are funny, some sad, serious, angry, you name it. Some are long, some are short. Some might remind you of the postcards you might have seen in class, or the stories and poems that were read at Symphony Space in January, like The Eyes Have It, Bato con Kakis, Valentine for Earnest Man, Poetry Should Ride the Bus, I Stopped Writing the Poem, Who's Irish, and Things. Some of your stories and poems are based on real life. Some are completely made up. All are wonderful. We are so lucky to have the three fabulous actors who read in January for today's performance. They videotaped themselves at home and sent their performance to us. I want to thank them for going that extra mile for All Right. First, I'd like to introduce Crystal Dickinson. Crystal Dickinson won the Theater World Award for her Broadway debut in the 2012 production of Clybourne Park. Her films and television credits include House of Pain, I Origins, This Is Where I Leave You, The Good Wife, Feed the Beast, Collateral Beauty, and New Amsterdam. She currently teaches acting at the Juilliard School and will be teaching at NYU in the spring of 2020. Now let's welcome Philip Estrella. Philip Estrella is a New York City-based actor who has appeared with the American Conservatory Theater, ACT, and La Jolla Playhouse. He is active in the independent film scene. He recently shot the pilot Perception and can be seen online in the web series Characteristically, about the lives of character actors. He also recently narrated the short story The Water That Falls from Nowhere for Macmillan Publishing. Last but not least, I'm happy to introduce Dawn Akemi Sato. Dawn Akemi Sato is an actress, writer, movement artist, and director. Her own work has been performed at the Orpheum Theater in Austria, the Whitney Museum, Dance Theater Workshop, New York Theater Workshop, La Mama, the Public Theater, and Aaron Davis Hall. She has taught in the graduate acting programs at NYU, Princeton, Juilliard, and is co-director of the Berlin Bard Theater Devising Program. Sato is an artist in residence at Fordham University at Lincoln Center. Now for the stories. We are all affected by the pandemic, some of course more than others. Our hearts go out to all who have suffered, and I know we will pay tribute to every essential worker, from those in healthcare to those who deliver food to those who keep the city running. We thank you. The first two pieces deal with this crisis, but in a way that is helpful and hopeful. The first piece is by a whole class. It is called The Last Class Before COVID Made Us Close by Chetty Glenn, Shirley Bustos, Maria Garcia, Rhonda Telford, Wanda Alston, Tonya Baker, and Marie Venord. To read it, please welcome Crystal Dickinson.
The Class Before COVID Made Us Close by Chetty Glenn, Shirley Bustos, Maria Garcia, Rhonda Telford, Wanda Alston, Tonya Baker, and Marie Venard. Katie, the world is burning and you want us to write a poem? Sure, Chetty. Why not? And that can be your first line. The world is burning and we're writing a poem? The virus is spreading out of control and we're looking for a cure. People have stopped shaking hands and we are creating a connection. Schools are shutting down and we are opening our imaginations. Supermarkets are selling out and we're buying a few seconds of sanity. Stock market has crashed, but we will not let our dreams be dashed. This is like nothing we've ever experienced before, and we are looking for hope because we are human, and that is how we thrive, and the world continues to turn. And we'll find a way to come together again.
Oh, those last lines are wonderful. We are looking for hope because we are human. And so many of the pieces you all wrote embodied that beautiful idea. In the next piece, the author reflects on hope, but also on how to take in everything that is happening. Dawn Akemi Sato will read COVID Days by Mavelyn de la Rosa.
COVID Days by Mavelyn de la Rosa. Silent infection. Stay home, preventing, disinfecting. Multiple reactions, balancing out, in place. Reflection. Inspiration. Intimidating. Acceptance.
Many children and adults are homeschooling right now, but this piece was written with another challenge in mind, going to school in a new country. To read My Son by Elizabeth Calle, here is Crystal.
My Son by Elizabeth Calle. When we came to New York, my first son was so happy because everything was new for him. His name is Xavier. That's pronounced Javier. A few weeks later, he went to pre-kindergarten. He was excited to go to school because his little mind thought he was going to see Miss Isabel. She was his teacher in Ecuador. At the school, Javier was afraid because everything was different and new for him. His first question was, "Mommy, where's Miss Isabel?" I answered him, "My Javiercito, you are a smart boy. Do you know where you are now?" He answered, "In the United States." I said, "That's right. Miss Isabel is in Quincera right now. That's why she's not here. Now it's time to meet a new teacher and new wonderful friends. He looked at me, sad and scared. I said, don't be afraid. Here you can share and play with your new friends. He met his teacher for the first time. She said, hi, Xavier. How are you? Welcome to pre-kindergarten. Are you ready to have fun? He said, that's not my name. He looked confused and said, Mommy, I don't understand. I told him, she speaks English. It's a different language than yours. He started crying and holding onto my leg. He said, Mommy, I want to go home, please. I said, sorry, Mrs. Whites. She said, it's okay. Don't worry. It happens the first day of school. She called Miss P. She said, Miss P is a helper teacher in the classroom. She speaks Spanish and she is also from Ecuador. Miss P told my son, hi, sweetie. Why do you cry? I'm from Quincera too. He stopped crying. Now Javier felt more comfortable because Miss P spoke Spanish like him. He held her hand and they went to the classroom. A few days later, Miss P took a picture of him while he was eating. He looked so sad. When I saw the picture, I felt my heart broken. I couldn't describe how I was feeling in that moment. I thought, what happened to him? Why is he so sad? I decided to have a little conversation with my son. I took him and his baby brother to the park. I bought an ice cream for him. While he was enjoying his ice cream, I said, Mi amor, why do you look so sad sometimes? You can tell me what happened with you. He was silent for a few minutes. He just looked at me. I said, oh, your brother is looking at you. Maybe he wants to taste your ice cream. My son, part 2. He laughed and he laughed at the baby and he kissed him. He said, Mommy, when can we go back home? I asked him why. He said, I miss my home, my Candy, our dog, Pepin, Maddie, Amor, Fer, and Abuelita, his cousins, his aunts, his grandmother. I miss my toys and my bicycle. I want to drive my big car. Just listen to my son. At that moment, I wanted to cry, but I didn't. He was 4 years old and his expression was like a younger child. I hugged him, I kissed him while I told him, do you know how much I love you and your brother? He said, I love you too, and my brother too. I said, my sweet baby, if we go back home, you and your brother couldn't see your daddy again. He asked why. I said to him, because your daddy lives here in New York. If we go back to Ecuador, we could see your daddy only a few days. He said, I want to stay with daddy, you and my brother. I won't be sad anymore. Everything is okay. He kissed me and hugged his brother, and then he started to play. While I saw him jumping, I was thinking, what is in his mind? He's only 4 years old, but he understands. He didn't grow up with his father. He saw him only 2 or 3 weeks every year. I remember Javiercito was excited and so happy when he went to the airport. Every airplane he saw in the sky, he used to say, my daddy is coming there to see me. In the lobby room, he looked around to find his daddy all the time. He asked, Mommy, you see my daddy? When we saw him, he jumped into his arms and said, I love you, Daddy. Then in the park, my son came over to me and said, Mommy, I'm hungry. We can buy something in McDonald's. I can buy for you a sandwich. I have money. He had only 15 cents. It wasn't enough, but I said, okay. And we went to McDonald's.
Now that's a nice mother. The next mother has made a tough decision. Let's get Dawn back to read Change by Teresa Marin.
Change by Teresa Marin. I stopped taking care of my children to start to work. My first day of work, my daughter called me. She said, "I miss you, Mom." I felt like breaking as my memories came back. Every morning, we had breakfast together. I told her, "I miss you too. You are strong. And me too."
We all know that women are loving and strong and much more. Let's ask Crystal to read Women by Karen Sanchez.
Women are strong by Karen Sanchez. Women are strong. Women can work and they can do anything. We can take care of children, study finance, administration, education, and health services. Women are very smart. Women have good feelings, and for that reason, they are very good professionals. Women are responsible and neat. It is good for different work. Women like to work as a team. Women should not only stay at home. Women have so much to give. We are women.
Many of us grew up with a strong and loving woman as a role model. Philip Estrella will now read Grandma by Henrietta Egharevba.
Grandma by Henrietta Egharevba. Coming home from school with the sun beating down my head, I saw Grandma swinging back in front in the old wobbly beat up chair in front of the house under the big orange tree. I ran to Grandma. Her fragile frame held me tight. I felt the warmth and strength, just like the chair she was sitting on. Old wobbly chair, but strong enough to carry any weight and comforting when it rocks you back and front. I wonder who is older between the chair and my grandma. I grew up seeing Grandma sitting with her all white hair on the chair every morning, waving me and my sibling goodbyes to school. Every evening, she sits to see the goings and comings of the streets, except for Sunday special. Never could wait to get home from church to smell the aroma of the spicy, sweet tomatoes, garlic, thyme, and roasted pepper chicken. Oh, I can still envision the steam coming from the half-open pot on the stove. Her kitchen door is open just like the open yard without the fence. Everyone loves to be hit by her Sunday rice and stew, delicious cooking. Oh, watch out for the spatula when opening the pot cover on the burning stove. Grandma can sting like a bee. She does not like her pot of stew touched till the stove is turned off. Watching her turn off the stove and that pot cover finally fully open is like the burst of a candy pack. Oh. Mm.
I can just see that grandma bopping someone on the bean with her spatula. Human beings are many things, strong and weak, patient and impatient, happy and sad. Let's hear I Want to Be by Maxine Reid Collins, read by Dawn.
I Want to Be by Maxine Reid Collins. My life is a collection of poems. Poems of good times and hard times. Poems of things that dreams are made of and nightmares possess. Yet, in spite of it all, I persevere. Through the strength of faith and power of prayer, I've persevered. I want to be a woman, strong like the wind that blows through the heart of an innocent child and brightens the day like the morning sun. I want to be a woman that stands proud in her solace, to educate the world way beyond the lust and rust of the earth's crust. I want to be mighty, rare, and great, like an endangered species of humanity. Sharing the unexpected beauty of love and life's creative joys, molding tears into wings of bursting laughter and crushing sadness, into stones that melt away anger, frustration, fear, and all the negativities of life. I want to one day be free like the birds on the wing, marveling in the wind. I want to be the me I've always yearned to be, but never knew existed within my being. I want to be free in mind, body, and spirit, bringing peace and tranquility within, and glowing like the stars that light the heart and soothe the soul. I am now proud of who I am and not ashamed or haunted by the dismal days of my past or the perception of those with inabilities to recognize my worth. I am now who I want to be, and now I am free indeed.
Phil is coming back to read the next poem called Inside Outside.
Inside Outside by Jocelyn Alcinois-Piras, Marina Barros, Tanya Bell, Arima Brathwaite, Kanisha Clark, Martha Diaz, Janice Green, Alidia Guzman, Vanessa Hu, Onel James, Tamika Johnson, Markel Jones, Tarmisha Price, Matondo Sampao, Pauline Williams. Outside, my mom looks tired with low, baggy eyes. But inside, she is extremely loving and filled with tons of energy. On the outside, I'm like a book never read. On the inside, I'm like a movie never seen. On the outside, I'm like a race car driver moving fast, loving every minute. On the inside, I'm afraid to make friends, been burnt beyond repair. On the outside, I am calm like night waves on the beach. Inside, I'm loud like a vast tsunami. On the outside, I am like a tropical island full of soursop, raspberries, roses, and lilacs, while on the inside, I am like a pot of oxtail cooked until tender and brown. On the outside, I'm just as strong and tough as a lion in a jungle. On the inside, I'm as soft and gentle as a newborn baby. On the outside, I am kind with a good smile like warm sunshine in the morning. However, inside, I'm missing someone till the tears fall. Outside, I am a sunny day walking in the park. When I met my boyfriend with another girl, inside, I feel like my soul is a terrible thunderstorm. Outside, I'm like cherubim sent from heaven in time to save the elder ladies in need. On the inside, I'm an emotional wreck ready to burst forth with tears like a dark cloud on an overcast day. On the outside, I am a gigantic blossom tree soaking up the sun and the raindrops. On the inside, I am a pressure cooker ready to explode. Bam! I am a crazy person. On the outside, I'm a doll with tears rolling down my face. On the inside, I'm the broken doll with purple and gray hair no one plays with anymore. Outside, I may seem bold, brave, and confident. Inside, I'm a shy person who is afraid to even stand up in class to read my story. On the outside, I am as quiet as a house mouse. You couldn't hear me if a nail dropped. On the inside, I am a cool cucumber in a bowl of garden salad. On the outside, I'm like a cup of hot cocoa. Inside, I'm like cold stone because I don't want people around me. On the outside, I might look as invisible as a baby bird in the shell, but inside, I'm a visible colossal eagle. It's so wonderful to have an immense positive attitude inside you. On the outside, I'm like a solid rock and a beautiful coral shell. And on the inside, I am like the colorful sun setting. Outside, I am a plain Jane, a white blank sheet of paper waiting for my poet. Inside, I am a voluptuous woman wearing creamy crimson lipstick, reciting stanzas of poetry. I am the poet.
Remember Bato Konkakis from the performance in January? Well, here we find that same Bato going about his life. Phil reads Abe the Wannabe Cool Bato by Avraham Wiesel.
Abe the Wannabe Cool Bato by Avraham Wiesel. Abe the Wannabe Cool Bato went for a walk around his neighborhood in the evening because he wanted to get a refreshing gelato.
A refreshing gelato. That sounds delicious. In our next piece, we're going to hear from an unusual voice, the voice of a suitcase. Crystal will read A Forgotten Suitcase by Luis Saria.
A Forgotten Suitcase by Louis Saria. Once upon a time, I was beautiful and new. Someone brought me and started to travel into different parts of the world. I was well taken care of and felt happy. But as time passed by, my brightness wore off. And I got old. I was placed in the corner of a closet. I was never used anymore. Today I am sad. I live with my memories of when I was new and beautiful. Now I wait for the day when I'm thrown away or placed in the garbage. Nothing more to do. This is life.
The next poem is also about an object and also about feelings. Let's ask Dawn to read The Map by Vivian Hanying Zhang.
The Map by Vivian Hongying Zhang. I am standing in front of the map. Asia is red, America is green, Africa is yellow, Australia is orange. The North Pole is white, the others are light blue. The ocean, the ocean, the ocean. My mind is like a horse without a rein, running against the roar of the wind. The whole world becomes smaller. There are only 2 feet between Asia and America. I stick out my fingers, touching the red part, cold, smooth, hard. I can't feel the happiness from my family. I can't see the smile on my mom's face. I can't feel the warmth from my dad's hands. I can't hear the giggles between my sisters. My eyes well up. Homesickness is like the ocean flowing in my heart with pain and happiness. Loneliness is like a leaf floating on the water.
Well, here's a great solution to the longing to travel and see new places. Crystal returns to read If I Were a Happy Bluebird by Marissa Threet.
If I Were a Happy Bluebird by Marissa Threet. What if you could fly like a bird? Well, if I were a blue jay, I would love to imagine that I would fly all around the world. I would visit Japan to see the beautiful cherry blossom trees. Then I would fly all over Africa, sit on top of a hippo who would take me on his backside across the Nile River, and I would sing merrily as I enjoyed the ride. Why blue jay? Say? Because that bird sings merrily like me as they happily travel all around the world. My adventure goes on the next day. I would then fly to Los Angeles to a party with my best friends, Camille the robin, Redbreast, Kelly the flamingo, and Jimmy the cockatoo. We all decided to hang out and go to the animal club, Late that night, we're partying hard and singing, chirping, and dancing to Beyonce. We all party until the sunset rises. Now, the following day, I'd fly back home to New York City to my own apple tree, located in my own hometown, the Big Apple. I'll fall right asleep in my nest, exhausted. I really don't know where my friends decided to fly after all the partying we did, but I left them because this blue jay is extremely tired. So it's time to nap. I'm all drained out. And I'm all flyed out, too. But no regrets. It was so much fun. I'm going to do it again one day soon in the near future. You're welcome to fly along with me.
Okay, we're not bluebirds. I know. But we can still travel to new places, as we will hear when Phil reads A Day of Fun on a Bike by Jose Mojica.
A day of fun on a bike, or my adventure. A long journey on a bike ride around the East River by Jose Mojica. I started going downtown to City Hall, where the Brooklyn Bridge was at. From there, I rode across the bridge, which was hard because I had to pedal up like it was a mountain. But going off the bridge, the ride got easier. That's because the bridge slopes down on the way off, so there was almost no pedaling to do. When I got off the bridge, I decided to go north to the next bridge, which was the Williamsburg Bridge. I thought I'd follow the overdrive of the highway. That way I would find myself near the other bridge. But when I kept on and on, I saw I was going away from the side of the river. So I decided to turn left. And this was the way back towards the river. I was looking for familiar structures, buildings that I could recognize. But what I saw was a village of Orthodox Jewish people. By the time I got to the end of that town, it was dark. And then I saw a park that I knew. There, I rested for a few minutes because that park was by the side of the bridge that I was looking for, so I took a break and then rode back to Manhattan on the Williamsburg Bridge. And I was home.
Brooklyn isn't new and different enough for you? Well, don't go away, because here's Phil to tell us all about Yugopotamia by Stephanie Morello.
Yugopotamia by Stephanie Morello. Once upon a time, there was a planet called Yugopotamia. The population was only 300. The land was rocky and dry, similar to a desert. There was a young alien prince named Shrek. His planet was a place where everyone behaves and likes things opposite of humans. For instance, they find garbage to be delicious and are terrified of cute things like puppies. Shrek is a squid-like alien, possessing several tentacles and an exposed brain encased in a dome of glass. He is colored aqua green and wears a pink fakeifier around his waist, allowing him to take form of various earth objects by spinning the yellow six-spoke symbol to the desired form. In human form, Shrek appears as a boy with red eyes and black hair, a green shirt with the same symbol alien Shrek has on his fakeifier. If something nice happens to him, like a kiss from a girl, his fakeifier will malfunction and he will lose the ability to remain in human form. Shrek's parents, the king and queen of Yugopotamia, loved him very much, although they were arranging a marriage to the terrifying and beautiful, ugly to Shrek, Princess Mandai. A few weeks before the wedding, Shrek fled down to Earth where he uses his fakeifier to remain disguised as a human boy. He made friends quickly with another boy named Zeus. He was the only one who knew Shrek's true identity. Zeus had a cruel, older female cousin who lived with him and his parents. Her name was Amber. She had brown hair, evil black eyes, and was always mean and getting Zeus into lots of trouble. He couldn't stand her, but when Shrek met her, he fell in love instantly. So one day, Shrek decided to make his move on Amber. He wasted no time. One night, they were sitting on the couch watching Netflix, and surprisingly, Amber told him, "Give me your hand. I want to hold it already." And so, he did. Amber did not freak out when she watched Shrek detach his human-formed hand from his arm and turned it into his tentacle alien-formed hand. Instead, she smiled and stared. She pulled at her chin, and Shrek watched as her human face peeled off like a rubber mask. It turned out Amber was also from another planet. She got stuck on Earth as a baby and never found a way back to her home planet, so she settled on Earth. Shrek told her, "Come with me. I'd like to show you something." They went outside, in the backyard, to find Shrek's spaceship. Amber was in shock. She says, "There's a way home? Oh, I am so happy right now. Please take me home to planet Trapstar 13. And so he did. But there was no more Trapstar 13. It was destroyed years ago, they learned. Shrek offered Amber a home on his planet. She accepted and told Shrek, "You saved my life, getting me off of planet Earth. I'd do anything to repay you." Shrek replied, "Will you be my alien bride? We can run my home planet together and make it just like yours once was." Amber consented to this wedding. Shrek told his parents she was the alien he wanted to marry and rule with, and although his parents disagreed, they refused to stand in the way of their love for each other. So they allowed this wedding to happen, and they lived happily ever after on planet Yugopotamia.
Ah, so sweet. With writing, we can go to other boroughs, other countries, even to other planets. Now we'll go from far away to very close and hear about someone's eyes. Krista will read Eyes by Yeya Elfci.
Eyes by Yeya Elfci. Eyes can abbreviate a lot of speech. and a lot of love. I look carefully at your eyes. They are magical, like falling stars. I may forget my name, my people, my life, but not your eyes. Your eyes say your words. Tongues sometimes lie, but eyes don't. So, if you don't love me, why do your eyes say you do? You should give me your eyes. They won't break my heart.
I am loving how language is being used so creatively in these pieces. Loneliness is like a leaf. Suitcases are sad. Eyes don't lie. Let's see what the next piece, also about eyes, will tell us. Dawn will read Your Eyes by Zaina Joud.
Your Eyes by Zaina Joud. I stopped reading my book to look at your eyes. Don't be shy, I say to myself. He's my hero. That's what I hope. I only care about looking at you. Your eyes attracted me. What about you? I think you forget all to make me your doll. Are you going to hug hard or stay away a yard? I don't believe what happened, but I believe you are my life. I chose you. Why you? I don't know. I don't understand. Is it fate? Is it love? Or both together? This does not matter. The important thing is to dive into the sea of your eyes. I stopped living alone to live in your eyes. You made me your queen. That is my dream.
We received a lot of wonderful writing about music and dance. I love the image of the man in Music Runs Away by Maria Oviedo, which will be read by Crystal.
Music Runs Away by Maria Oviedo. Early in the morning, when the music starts to play, my dancing husband comes with disheveled hair and shoulders that sway. When they see him coming, the neighbors say, "There comes the dancer with the blood of music in his veins." When he hears the beat, his hips move their magic like palm trees on the sand.
Music does have that magic effect. We hear about it again as Phil reads Dancing by John Douglas.
Dancing by John Douglas. This is Big John. My life go like this. Whenever I hear music, it puts a smile on my face. What good taste for the mind. It makes me feel great. I do not care if I am late. My boss have to wait for the music. When I hear music in the street, I have to stop, start dancing to the beat. If I'm with my wife, we dance together, wherever we are. Hello.
We heard the sad tale about the forgotten suitcase a little while ago. Here's a story about something else that was thrown away, but this time someone thinks it is worth saving. Here is Crystal to read A Precious Painting by Camilla Botti.
A Precious Painting by Camilla Botti. I just moved to this new neighborhood, so I decided to explore my surroundings. As I walk past the local cleaners and laundromat, I find myself staring at this painting. It was on the corner, leaning upright on a light post next to the public trash can. I couldn't believe my eyes. This had to be some sort of a mistake. Why doesn't this beautiful painting have a warm home mounted on the wall to be in? Who forgot their painting? I spin around in 2 complete circles, scanning the streets looking for the possible owner. People walk past as if it didn't exist. I bend down and pick up this masterpiece, examine its perfections. The frame is intact, and the glass wasn't broken, and the painting was beautiful. I cradle the painting in my arms and begin the search for its owner. I go in every business on this strip near where I discovered the painting and ask them if this was their painting or if they know where the owner lives. They all say no. I'm now walking aimlessly around the neighborhood, and suddenly this old man speaks to me. He says, "You new around here? Nice painting." I smile tiredly and reply, "Yes, I just moved here and I'm looking for this painting's owner." He bursts out laughing so hard. I'm shocked by his reaction, and it's got me a little upset. I respond, "What's so funny?" He says, "I'm sorry. That's just the funniest thing I've ever heard. Find the owner?" That painting been sitting on the corner 4 blocks down for a few days now, and here you are looking for the owner. That's just funny. He walks away with a bottle of liquor tucked under his arm and continues to laugh. I feel my face heat up as I begin to walk back to my new apartment, relieved I can keep the painting. Give it a warm home, mounted on the wall, because I will be its owner. I get so excited I can hardly wait. I start to speed up my pace, trying to get home too quick to hang my painting. Suddenly, I trip, and the painting goes flying. By the time I react, it's too late. The painting of perfection crashes into the ground. I scream, "Oh no!" I scramble over to where it's now laid, all broken. I pick it up. The frame is broken, the glass is shattered. I look up to God and ask, why? In the business I'm in front of is a framed glass setting place. A worker runs out, asks me if I'm okay, but my new painting is ruined. He smiles, gathers up the pieces, and takes it inside. In 20 minutes, the painting is better than it was before. Alex places a brand new sheet of glass on it, along with a frame that creates a better pop for the painting. I'm so pleased. I pay him, and he says that he will carry it to my apartment and hang it for me if I like. I agree. When the task is finally finished, Alex and I sip coffee and fancy my new painting that has been mounted on my wall in its new home. And I'm standing with my new friend, Alex.
Should you trust someone you have just met, even if he has a nice dog? Well, we'll find out as we listen to Dawn read Story About Something by Anna Udina.
Story About Something by Anna Udina. It's a beautiful spring day, and just walking on New York streets makes me happy and fulfilled without any special reason. I am walking down to Midtown from the Upper West Side. On the way there, I stop whenever I see something I like, taking pictures of New York's beauty on my cell phone. Are you an artist? I turn around and see a young guy holding a beautiful Doberman on a leash, smiling at me. I'm flattered, not just because I like how artists look, but also because the man with the dog is really cute. No, I answer. I just love to take pictures of New York. Maybe you can take a picture of me with my buddy? Still smiling, he nods towards the dog. I smile back. As a dog person, I am happy to do it. That's great. I'm Henry. He holds out his hand. I shake it. Hi, I'm Carrie. We walk to Central Park and spend a fun half-hour or so taking pictures, laughing and chatting about dogs. Then he asks me if I'd like to have a drink with him at a wine bar that's close by. Sure, I say, and we start walking. We sit at a little bar with outdoor tables and order drinks. He takes a beer, and I order a glass of sparkling wine. What else could I take, being in such a sparkling mood? Would you like to order something else? The waitress asks us. Sure, just give us a few more minutes to look at the menu, Henry says. The evening looks more and more promising. Henry's phone buzzes. He checks the screen, frowns. I'm sorry, Carrie. I have to take this. It's urgent. I'll make it as quick as I can. Sure, I smile. He stands up from the table. I'm leaving Prince as security, he jokes, and then moves off, already talking into his phone. So, it's just two of us, my friend? I lean over and pet Prince. He looks up at me with soft, intelligent eyes. I take a sip of my sparkling wine. After 15 minutes or so, I'm starting to wonder what's going on. Excuse me, I say to the waitress. The guy who was with me, can you please check in if he's inside, because I'm with his dog here and I need to go to the restroom. Sure, she says and goes off quickly. After a minute, she comes back, shakes her head, no. The thought crosses my mind that maybe he's not coming back. Maybe Henry, or whatever his name is, has disappeared and left his dog. Unbelievable, I think. I order another glass of wine. Suddenly, I hear a loud woman's voice next to my head. "Oh my God, it's Caesar! Caesar, are you all right?" The voice belongs to a large lady who is bending over talking to Prince. "Caesar, are you all right, boy?" "I'm sorry, but his name is Prince, not Caesar," I say. The woman looks skeptical. "Are you sure, young lady? Because this dog is the spitting image of my neighbor's dog, who just happened to go missing during his afternoon walk. She turned her back for just a minute, and the next thing she knew, he was gone." "I'm very sorry to hear that, but you have the wrong dog. This is Prince, and his owner, my friend Henry, will be back in a minute." The woman's eyes widen. "You mean he's not even your dog?" I stare at her. It occurs to me for the first time. Did Henry dog nap Prince? I mean Caesar, and deliberately leave me holding the bag? Does that even make sense? The woman bends down again to talk to Prince. "You remember me, don't you, Caesar? I bring you all those nice bones. You love my bones, remember?" Caesar looks absolutely indifferent. I think, where the hell is Henry? "I'm going to call my friend and she'll call the police," the woman announces. "Don't you go anywhere," she warns me. "That's ridiculous," I say, my voice rising. Needless to say, the charm of the evening has completely vanished. I can see myself trying to explain to a judge how this lovely animal came into my possession. You see, I met this man named Henry, Your Honor, and he had this dog, and he suggested we get a drink, and then he left me at the table with his dog and disappeared. I suddenly remember all the photos I took in the park. I have pictures of him. I can show you. But before I get my phone out, I hear the real Henry's out-of-breath voice. "Thank God you're still here." "Where have you been?" I snap. "I just couldn't help it. I'm so sorry, Carrie." "But who's this lady?" He's looking at my accuser, who just got off her phone. She eyes him. "So you're the mysterious Henry. Well, I have good news for you. My friend says that Caesar is home safe. The doorman found him outside the building." "Who's Caesar?" Henry asks.
I'm still thinking about that refreshing gelato that the wannabe Bato was going to get. So is the author of the next poem. Let's get Crystal to read Yummy by Neza Sanchez.
Yummy. Vanessa Sanchez. Dessert. Slurping. Giggling. Cold. Creamy. Drippy. Cone with 3 scoops. Ice cream.
don't like ice cream or don't have any right now, you can always make something on your own. Phil will read I Like to Cook by Gilmore Bowes.
I Like to Cook by Gilmore Bowes. Before I cook, I prep everything. Play some music, block everything out, and get in my zone. Sometimes when I am cooking, I feel like I am in another place. I am not aware of time. I love seeing people's faces when they taste my food and enjoy it. It's like they are tasting a part of me and they understand who I am.
That sounds like a great experience. The next piece is also by a cook, but this cook is not so happy. Phil is going to read Adult Picky Eaters by Martha Bone.
Adult Picky Eaters by Martha Bone. As a chef in a Japanese restaurant, I deal with all kinds of customers 5 days a week. Some are bad and greedy, others are nice and generous. But I also need to put up with adult picky eaters who are worse than babies. Either these people have issues or they never grew up. They are selfish, bossy, and mean, and even more, they are super proud, ungrateful, and inconsiderate lunatics who are always giving the chefs a hard time while cooking their food. The worst nightmare for a chef is when these lunatics sit together at the grill during weekends or busy hours. Imagine having 10 orders with 10 different items that need to be separated. It can turn the 20 minutes cooking into an hour or more. So it is disrespectful to the chef and to other customers who have to wait for their food. Adult picky eaters are truly a pain in the ass. Yes, we know there are some people who can't consume a specific food due to allergic reactions, and of course, the chef will take special care for their food, but being picky and whining like a baby, no this, no that, is ridiculously immature. Use your brain. If you don't like the menu, don't order it, or simply find another restaurant. The menu is for everyone, and it's designed well enough for a reason to accommodate orders that blend in to produce smell, textures, flavors, odors, and even choice of garnish. So please, don't make the chef's job harder than it already is. There is nothing wrong with showing a simple act of kindness by acting normal to make everything a bit easier. Always remember to keep in mind this is a public business. The chef is not your mommy or daddy at home. How hard is it to just eat what you like and leave aside what you don't? That way, the chef has the flexibility to prepare food for you as well as other customers at the table. As a hibachi chef, there is a time, millions of time actually, when my hands wanted to slap adult picky eaters in the face or pour teriyaki sauce on them to get even. But my heart keeps reminding me to calm down. You have mouths to feed and rent to pay, I remind myself. Otherwise, I'd soon be ravenous like the loafers in the street. So, in times like these, suddenly I am a Hollywood superstar who puts up a bitter, angry, smiley face. Ah, ha 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 ha. And the cheapest trick teenagers from the hood or even the countryside pull out strands of their own hair or place fake fingernails on their plate to get a huge discount or even a free meal. We've seen it all and know it so well, so please educate yourself on how to behave in public places like a restaurant before you look stupid. And be careful how you treat your chef and server because you never know what kind of a mood they're in. Sure, you can keep saying customer is king, customer is always right, but sooner or later, you'll run into a crazy chef or server on their most atrocious day, and you may end up in disappointment, embarrassment, or even worse than you can imagine. So please, show some respect to those who do the job for you, especially those who take care of your food.
I can imagine that some of you are saying, I can't cook. Well, you can do as the next writer did. Let's hear Dawn read My Favorite Pastime by Argelia Caridad Martinez.
My Favorite Pastime by Argelia Caridad Martinez. When I was a child, my favorite pastime was playing with the mud. I made little cakes and pretended to be the best pastry maker in the world. My family did not have money to buy food, much less toys, clothes, or shoes for my siblings and me. That did not matter to me because I always had the mud. Sometimes we ate only one meal per day. My father was always looking for a job, but he could never find one. When he found a job, it was only one day a week, and my mom made him use his earnings for the whole week's food to feed us. After some time, my father decided to borrow money from friends to open a slushy stand. At first, the people of our town stayed loyal to their favorite stands, and my dad had few customers. But eventually, our luck changed, and people lined up to buy my dad's slushies. As a result, my parents had money to get us food, clothes, shoes, and even some toys. We were all happier. Although I loved my new tea set and other toys, I continued making my little mud cakes. Even today, whenever I think about those times or tell my children about my mud cakes, I feel joy.
Yum! Mud cakes. Love them. And what goes better with mud cakes than a delicious cup of coffee? Well, maybe we'll just stick with the coffee. The next story makes me wish I had a cup right now. Crystal will read Good Life by Balin Bates.
Good Life by Balin Bates. Life in a little town starts with a cup of coffee, sitting down in front of the landscape, looking at the sunrise, clouds running in different directions. Listening to the rooster's song, the hen is looking for earthworms to feed her little chicks. The cow around the pasture looking for her calf. All this is happening while enjoying a cup of coffee. Nothing compares when you smell delicious coffee or chocolate with farm's eggs. What to say? When the day is getting warm, you take a walk to the river with crystalline waters so you could swim and trip over a stone. On your way back home, you can get fruits and ice cream and enjoy them with family and friends around. Then you get tired from all these things and more that you have done in one day in a little town. I love it.
Time passes by in our life, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. Let's feel time going by as Dawn reads Let's Look at the Clouds by Yuna Skoblikova.
Let's Look at the Clouds by Yuna Skoblikova. Sometimes, insignificantly, events happen over and over in our lives, but we always remember them. It is summer. I am about 10 years old. My school friend came to me for a day. We went for a walk in the meadow. It is hot. We collected the bouquet of colorful meadow fragrant flowers. Let's look at the clouds. We are lying on the soft, warm grass and looking at the clouds. How fast time flies. Now there is no meadow. The young Christmas trees grow here. We walk among them. They are small, waist high. Let's look at the clouds. He is handsome, tall, with blue eyes. I would like to be with him all the time. Maybe we will get married. The clouds are running. They are so various. The figures change quickly. Probably there is a strong wind up there. Son, sit a little quiet, please. You know, there used to be a beautiful meadow, and I loved to walk here. Then these Christmas trees were planted here. These Christmas trees are so high now. If we look at the clouds, we cannot see them clearly. Let's sit down here on the forest edge and take some rest. Let's look at the clouds. Why are these clouds so various? Why are they running so quickly? How can I reach them? What? Why? How? There are a lot of questions, this and that questions. It is my son. The time runs faster and faster. My daughter is 7 years now. She is so funny and tender. Her voice sounds like a bell. She already misses her brother. The weather is wonderful today. Let's go for a walk, Mom. Okay. Let's go to the forest. What can we do in the forest? We can listen to birds picking flowers and berry and look at the clouds. They are so various.
As time goes by in the world, things change, attitudes change, we change. Crystal will read The Old Mentality by Chris Plezimond.
The Old Mentality by Chris Plezimond. Christina was born in Haiti and raised there. She is 5'2" tall and a very sexy girl. As she was growing up, her parents taught her how to be a housewife, how to clean, cook, and do the laundry. All because she was a woman. And a woman should know these things. It's different for a boy. Boys play soccer and other games and do not do housework. That is how it is in Haiti. Christina got married to a man named Joe back in Haiti. Joe was 20 years older than her and a big, strapping guy, 6'2" tall and about 300 pounds. They had 2 kids, a girl named Martina, and 3 years later, a boy named Joel. Christina was doing just like her parents taught her. Cook, clean, do laundry, take care of the kids. Cook, clean, do laundry, take care of the kids. The husband works. You stay home doing the housework. 15 years later, Joe sent Christina to America. Maybe God heard her prayers. When she finally got to America, over time, she saw things differently. Now she developed a new system. In America, she could go to work, go to school, and pay her bills. She did not have to stay dependent upon a man. After 8 years, Christina's husband, Joe, came to the United States. He thought that she was the same woman he remembered back in Haiti. He was trying to command her, but it didn't work. It was chaos. She made him miserable. Now he had to do his own laundry, cook, clean the bathroom. Things he would never do in Haiti. But I can tell you that Christina was doing all that to make pay for every woman in Haiti. Joe's family was furious. Joe's sister, Janita, cursed Christina, saying, "You were a poor girl when he married you. He sent you to America. Is that what you're doing to him? You're ungrateful." But she did not respond to them. After a while, Joe just couldn't take it anymore. So he left his house and went with his sister, Janita. When he got there, he thought that his sister was going to take care of him and treat him like a king, just as a woman would treat a man in Haiti. But instead, things went from bad to worse. The same sister who cursed his wife now called her and apologized, saying, "Christina, girl, you were right. He thinks he's still living in the olden times." Christina just laughed and said, "You can keep him with you." Then she hung up the phone and blocked the number.
The next piece describes an unhappy situation, but the writer feels that it can change with a change in attitude and behavior. Let's bring Phil back to read A Bad Day by Jose Yikizaka.
A Bad Day by Jose Yikizaka. When a man does bad things, unfortunately, life returns some bad things as well. The image of a man is the image of his actions. This man is in jail. It is the saddest thing in life to be in jail. A bed on the floor and 4 empty walls and a sad man. Jail is sort of a reformatory for many people who have done wrong things. The jail is a good place for many people who have a place to reflect on their actions and give themselves new opportunity for their life and society. In jail, a human being loses all rights as a person.
Haikus are tiny little poems, 3 lines each. They're like a frozen picture of a moment. In the 3 haiku poems coming up, each one focuses on a different sense: sound, touch, and smell. Dawn will read Haiku Poems by Neza Sanchez.
Haiku Poems by Neza Sanchez. A mountain village. Under the piled up snow, the sound of water. Everything I touch with tenderness, alas, pricks like a bramble. In the moonlight, the color and scent of wisteria seems far away.
I could really feel what the poet illustrated in those little poems. The next short story also expresses feelings, some I'm sure many of us can identify with. We will hear Face the Past by Judith Johnson, read by Crystal.
Face the Past by Judith Johnson. While walking through Washington Square Park, I ran into Bill today. My heart jumped. It was quite a surprise to see him again after all those years. It was amazing to see how good he looked. We stood looking at each other and my heart began to beat so fast while all the memories came rushing back to me about our past and about the love we had for each other. Then the memory of how I ended our relationship in a very impulsive way for something not very important, and went on with my life and married a man I thought I loved while Bill went away, bitter about women. As we both spoke today, I was glad to hear that he was married and has 2 children, because I had always wondered how he was doing. As he walked away, I hoped we'd meet again. It's amazing how we both ended up in New York. I wish I had some time to sit and talk things over with him. I would let him know that my last son was named Bill. I love my family with all my heart. But sometimes I wonder what life would have been like if Bill and I stayed together. As I faced my past, I know life is about the choices we make.
Choices. Who hasn't had to make some tough ones? We'll hear about good choices in Sarah's Journey to Brooklyn College by Sarah Daskal, read by Dawn.
Sarah's Journey to Brooklyn College by Sarah Daskal. Growing up in the 50s and 60s, Sarah was able to maneuver not being able to read and write. She had taught herself how to read by looking at comic books. First, she would look at the pages and see the pictures. She looked to see what happened to the characters as she figured out what the characters were saying. However, she could not write down what she had read. The words had left her brain, so she could not spell, period. Fast forward to the computer era. Now, Sarah's cocoon had gotten too tight to a point where she could no longer hold back her secret. This changed everything for her because now she wouldn't be able to hide her shame of not knowing how to spell when she would have to text or email people back. One day, Sarah and her niece Miriam went to see the movie Casablanca on the big screen at a movie theater. Afterwards, they discussed having any regrets on their deathbeds if they should die tomorrow. Sarah shamefully told her niece that her biggest regrets would be that she could not really write or spell correctly, and that it had always been her dream to learn how to write and spell. Her compassionate niece decided to help make Sarah's dream come true. She found out about the adult literacy program at Brooklyn College and texted Sarah all the information. Sarah secretly went to the program on Thursday because she didn't want to disappoint her niece Miriam if she did not get into the program. Sarah was petrified going into the classroom. Everyone was asked to grab a booklet and take a test. She felt her heart in her throat and thought that she would have a heart attack right there. After taking this test, all that Sarah heard was the instructor's voice saying, "Try to figure it out," and verb and noun. She left completely lost and just knew that she had failed. She was so focused on verb and noun that she wasted so much time on this area of the test and missed out on the reading comprehension section. As Sarah left the classroom, she was positive that she did not get into the program. Now it was Sunday morning and Sarah was on the Q train going into Manhattan to meet Miriam. Her phone rang, so she knew that she had a new message. She opened her email, and to her shock and surprise, she had an email congratulating her on being accepted into the literacy program from the director, Fran. Sarah cried tears of joy on the train because she never thought in a million years that she would finally have the opportunity to fulfill her dream. When Miriam saw Sarah's face, she asked her what was wrong. Sarah held the phone for her to read the great news, and Miriam said, "We need to celebrate." Sarah is here in the program, struggling at times, but she refuses to give up because she knows that when you want something badly enough, it is well worth the effort.
There are so many ways to learn things. The next author learned an important lesson in Midnight Walks to Church with My Father by Max Vasley, read by Phil.
Midnight Walks to Church with My Father by Max Vasley. Every Saturday night at midnight, my father would wake me up to go to Catholic church. Sometimes I was so tired and sleepy, but I had no choice because I didn't want my father to be upset with me. The dark streets were empty. It was always just me and my father. I used to be so scared. I was so young that I did not understand that God was walking with us at that time. It was quiet. So quiet that we could hear the sound of footsteps as our feet touched the gravel path. I was scared. But because I was with my father, that gave me encouragement to continue. My father always told me, "Let's go, Max. Walk fast. We'll get there soon enough." Even though I did not like getting up so early to go to church, I liked coming back from church on Sunday morning because my mother would have fresh bread and coffee waiting for me and my father. From this experience, I learned that in every duty, there is a reward. So, I could say that in every bad thing, there is always a good part.
Phil will now read I Used to Write Stories by Luciano Muguerza.
I Used to Write Stories by Luciano Muerta. As a little boy, I used to write stories in school. I actually remember I was very good. Suddenly, I stopped writing stories for some reason, but here I am, back in school, writing a song for some reason. Sometimes we don't feel inspired. Sometimes we feel we are not good enough to do what we love and desire. Now, I am 32 years old, living in New York. I feel inspired and good enough to make my dreams come true and spread love. I don't know if this is a poem or a song, because I know it is not rhyming at all, but either way, there's one thing I do know. We are all champions. I started writing stories in a classroom. Later on, photographers were offering me some photo shoots. If it's meant to be, let it be, and it will be. You see? I started writing on TV, then in theaters, and then in film. I'm telling you, I don't know what's going on, but this is becoming a song. Probably I'm getting inspired by my own. Well, I think this is more of a poem than a song, but whatever it is, let's just forget about our wrongs and just remember that we are strong. I have taken charge of my life. I'm on the move. What about you? I'm determined to succeed. There's something inside me that is strong, and should I really start writing songs? I feel in my heart of hearts that nothing is going to stop me, not even this disease or the COVID-19. Let's just work hard, respect ourselves, and don't be alarmed, because you'll see, you'll find the way to gain success and happiness.
In New York City, we all have the opportunity to learn about cultures that are different from our own. And this is a great opportunity that we should all take advantage of. Dawn comes back to read Hijab, My Crown by Zainab Jamil.
Hijab, My Crown by Zainab Jamil. Why do you feel bad when you see me wear the hijab? It's okay. Don't worry. It's not heavy on my head. It doesn't bother me. Maybe it bothers just you. Why are you bothered by my hijab? Did I tell you that I don't like your hair? Enough. This is not your business. This hijab is my ID. The hijab is the crown on my head. I am proud of my hijab.
The writer of the next poem also expresses pride and joy in being who she is. Black Woman by Michelle Baptiste will be read by Crystal.
Black Woman by Michelle Baptiste. I am a Black woman, mother, sister, wife. I am beautiful with my full lips. I walk in grace with my slim hips. The melanin of my skin is beautiful in the wind. My head is shaved so you can see the beauty in my face as I smile. I am a Black woman.
Now we will hear a story that describes the journey toward that same pride and joy and courage in the face of challenges. Dawn will now read My Ambition by Maysam Haydar.
My Ambition by Maysam Haydar. I am a person who has suffered from epilepsy for several years. My life was empty from everything. One day, I asked myself, who am I? My answer was, I'm no one. On that day, I decided to change myself and defeat the illness that had controlled my life, putting it into negativity. When I got the answer, I said loudly, "That's it! Ambition!" I started thinking and planning what my ambition is and how I can change my life. Many thoughts came to my brain. I decided I knew what to do. I gave myself a chance to change my life. I went back to school. I have new friends. I don't feel that I am my epilepsy anymore. This ambition that I've chosen gave me a new personality and a new target to do something with my life. I have learned not to give up anymore. Now, I am a person who decides and desires to be successful with a future. I ask myself again, who am I? I can say, yes, it is me. Finally, I have found myself and my life.
Our next piece is called The Memories by Olga Kulivkovskaya, and Crystal will read it.
The Memories by Olga Kolikoskaya. Yesterday I was in seventh heaven. We walked together, playfully holding each other's hands, like nothing can ever tear us apart. We drew our little chalk universe on the asphalt, adding some new beautiful planets and stars. You gave me the most magnificent bouquet consisting of unique memories, smiles, and tenderness. This gift was in a bright, crackling package. Our hands were covered with a multicolored, chalky dust. The wind ruffled hair, but it didn't bother us because we were incredibly happy. I hid my eyes under my long lashes, hesitating to drown in your deep blue eyes. Small, round petals were falling from the trees, complementing the atmosphere of a bright, romantic mood. The leaves were whispering a pleasant melody. Meanwhile, the sun was smiling, the sky generously giving blinding yellow rays to the ground. The warm asphalt saturated with ripe lemon-colored rays, inviting us to sit and dip in the relaxing atmosphere. Someday the chalk will wash away our chalk history from the asphalt. But not from our memories and our hearts. Yesterday, we were in seventh heaven, full of love, peace, and happiness.
What is music? Let's have Phil read Listen by Erica Maza, and will listen.
Listen, by Erica Maza. Music is a clear lake, a fresh wind in the summer, an escape door, a rhythm faster than a jaguar, slow as a turtle. Music is love and time, a loud hurricane, a white feather. Music is the first smile of a baby, strong as stone, delicate as glass.
So many great images. We'll hear some more as Dawn reads Seasons by Pedro Molina, Luis Sarria, Sila Bolaños, and Jacinta Gonzaga.
Seasons by Pedro Molina, Luis Sarria, Sila Bolaños, and Jacinta Gonzaga. The light of the sun, the drop of the rain, if free, the wind kiss in cool night. The flowers are in, the allergies too, but you love the spring. Sun, beach, sound, sea, fun. The people are enjoying. We feel refreshed. The leaves dance at fall. The trees don't want to cry. It's time to dream.
In the next piece, Learning to Succeed by Wendell Williams, we hear not only about how the writer is working toward his goals, but how important the teachers are. Let's ask Phil to read this poem.
Learning to Succeed by Wendell Williams. I'm telling you, when I arrived here, that I was in doubt. Now you can understand what I am talking about. Seeing your face makes me explain the way of leaving is not a game. Gladys says commas come first and periods come after. David has a smile. I can't explain. Gladys said, "It will be all right. Donna is teaching us how to log in and out of the computers. Mistakes will happen. Please, don't give up the fight." Veronica is in her little space, teaching us about citizenship at her pace. If you are willing to come over and see her, it's never too late to learn something.
We have one more piece in this performance. Before we hear it, I want to say something that really struck me as I read all the stories and poems that you wrote was your ability to see the beauty in life, even in difficult times, or especially in difficult times, or the beauty in things that are not always thought of as beautiful or wonderful, like we heard about in January in the poem about the skunks. All of your writing showed me your strength, your determination, your creativity. I was so impressed. Thank you for sharing that with me and the rest of the All Right Committee, Mary Esther Malloy, Solange Farina, and Teresa Bell. So we will end with a beautiful poem with a slightly mysterious title. Crystal will read, Can You Find the 5 W's by Piada Van Sumpen.
Can you find the 5 W's? By Payala Thanasampan. Sitting under a tree. Back to nature. Back to simplicity. Reading a story. Sipping coffee. Be happy. Writing something. Thinking of some time. Looking somewhere. Chilling somehow. Missing someone. I close my eyes. I listen to the sounds around me. Hear my soul. Nothing to think. Nothing to feel. Let it go. Face up to the sun. Arms open wide. Take a deep breath from nature. Get power from it. I will be strong. Life is long.
That's our show. I should say, that's your show. Let's give a big hand to our 3 wonderful actors, Dawn, Philip, and Crystal. And I think we would all agree that the teachers and tutors deserve our thanks and applause. Teachers and tutors, you may not hear it, but we are applauding you. Thank you to the funders who make All Right possible. Normally, this would be the time when I would invite all the authors of the pieces we performed to come up on the stage, tell us who they are, what they wrote, and what the experience was like. I'm sad that we can't do that this year. But whether you wrote a story or poem or not, whether it was chosen or not, if you have any thoughts you would like to share with the actors, with me, or with one another, write them down and send them to me. Your teachers have my email address, and I would be so happy to hear from you. But to everyone who submitted writing, congratulations on some really wonderful work. Here's to hoping we can all be together again next year. Till then, stay safe, be well, and keep writing. Bye-bye.